Welcome to Share the Pants. Have you ever dated someone who wants to have their cake and eat it too? Have you ever been in a relationship where your love languages are a complete mismatch? Have you ever spiraled into an anxious little tornado because you're trying to figure out if the relationship is going to work? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, you are going to love today's episode because we are talking about things we're seeing play out on our TV screen during Married at First Sight. And we're going to take a closer look at Devin and Caitlin, Felipe and Tori, and Nick and Courtney. And as always, we're not here just to judge all the drama. We're actually here to discuss what's happening underneath it. So buckle up. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and a quick spoiler alert. We are through episode 15 now of season 20. So if you haven't watched that, got up to that point, I don't think you necessarily need to, but we got a bomb that we're about to drop.
Yeah.
So that's your chance. Nick and Courtney have officially called it quits, which means we both got one wrong.
They're over. Yeah. I know. I'm really sad for Nick because as soon as he was on our TV screen, I was like, I know that guy. And then I couldn't figure out how I knew him until he said that he'd been on The Circle and a bunch of other reality TV shows. But I really, really like him. I still really, really like him. And Courtney seemed pretty normal through all the interview process. And it really wasn't until their wedding day that I started getting a little ooh, I don't know about this girl. If she's going to have some stuff to overcome. She's got a little bit of a hill to climb.
Yeah. And it just kept getting worse and worse.
Yeah. So I'm sad for Nick in one way because I really wanted him to have a happy ending. But in another way, I'm really glad for him because I think he deserves better. I think he dodged a bit of a bullet with this.
Yeah.
And I think Courtney has some work to do before she's really ready to be a wife.
Right. And I think he knew it for most of the time. I think he realized it pretty quickly, but he was still giving it some effort, but he could never fully commit because he just knew this is not it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that he was being overly nice and overly polite and overly he, and the experts called him out for this. He definitely does guard his image a bit. He's careful on camera. And part of that is because he's been on reality TV. And I imagine if you've been on reality TV a lot that you would get more careful about because you've seen how you've been edited. You've seen yourself on TV and some of that's cringy and you would want to adjust your behavior a little bit.
Yep. I'm sure he's watched a lot of reality TV too and known how some people if you get painted in a bad light,
you get cast as the villain.
And it can just really affect your
whole life.
Yeah, your whole life, your daily life, your dating life, which sometimes that's a good thing because what some of these people do is just insane.
Atrocious.
Yeah. And they deserve it, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think he's very, very cautious and careful, and he's doing a lot of perception management. But I do also think that part of that is his personality. I feel like he is genuinely pretty shy and needs to feel safe to come out of his shell. And I've watched him several times do the thing where when somebody asks you a direct question, your brain just goes blank and freezes. That's happened to him so many times. And with Courtney's personality, so for those of you who aren't watching, Courtney is very anxious and
manic.
On the manic side. Yeah, I was going to say she's like a little tornado and she does not filter anything she says. She is so dramatic with the things she says. Everything's high or lowest low. And it's so funny because I see myself in her, but I see old Nicole in her. I was telling Joel this while we were watching it. I'm like, God, I see myself in her. And he's like, no way.
Yeah, not even close. I don't even know what you're talking about.
But because there's old Nicole.
She's insane.
Babe, let's not call women insane. But yes, she has some issues to work through for sure. But there's old Nicole and then there's the Nicole Nicole before 2010 was a lot like Courtney. A lot like Courtney. I did not have a filter. I said crazy things. I can call myself crazy, but I'm not about to call another woman, crazy or insane. Same thing. But I feel I sometimes forget how much progress I've made. So when I see that, I'm like, oh my God, that's me. But no, that's old me. So I'm grateful you've never seen that version of me.
Me too. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. If we would have met 10 years ago, we probably wouldn't have gotten married, but
yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are.
We did the work and yeah.
Sometimes the wait is worth it, not just because you find your person, but also because you needed that time to cook, to like really fully develop.
That's right.
And I did.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that Courtney...
So, okay, with Courtney, on her wedding day, the first time it like pinged me that like, uh-oh, this girl's got some work to do. She's going to find this challenging. On her wedding day, like, she kept saying over and over and over and over again how afraid she was this wasn't going to work because he was going to leave her. Like, and it was like, I mean, Courtney, if you know anything about attachment styles, or even if you don't know anything about attachment styles, if you looked up anxious attachment in the dictionary, Courtney's picture would be there. Like, she is classically anxiously attached. It seems like she has an abandonment wound, this fear of leaving, which people, often think the only way to have an abandonment wound is if one of your parents leaves or you were neglected as a child by your parents. Her parents are still married. Seems like they have a functional, I mean, we never know what's happening behind closed doors, but it seems like the family unit is still together, that they have a happy marriage. Again, we don't know. So I don't think it came from her parents, but something has happened to her, probably in romance. We know a little bit about her romantic history, where that she just is so scared somebody will leave her that she can't actually settle in to the process of getting to know somebody. It's like she needs to know the outcome. She needs a guarantee to feel safe. And that's not how dating or building a relationship works. I think she was drawn to the married at first sight process because there is a guarantee. You're getting married.
Yeah.
And so many people think married means the end. Married means welcome to the rest of your life. This is the door you walk through, not like, it's not the end, it's a beginning. And so I think she probably had some expectations that anxiousness would be relieved from being married, but it wasn't. And so she was super critical of Nick.
That's a common theme on this show, just first of all, of people trying to fix their outside world problems or their inner problems by doing this, like jumping into the deep end type of situation. And it's that 99% of the time, that's not going to work.
Yeah. We as humans often think when we get what we want, everything else will be better, when really it's like, we've got to make the things that aren't better to get what we want.
Right.
Like we want it
at least
backwards.
Be actively working on them and progressing and getting better.
Exactly. Like they kind of go hand in hand, and we want the outcome before... Right. We want the outcome to alleviate the pain, but it doesn't really always work that way.
No.
So, yeah, it is a common theme with the people on this show. There's a reason they're drawn to this, you know, where you and I would be like, absolutely freaking not. Like, no, not doing, that's the one show we wouldn't do.
Yes.
But yeah, she was really super critical of Nick. Like, from the beginning, I think she got scared when she learned he was a reality star. And
which is fair.
And the experts warned him he was going to have to work harder than most every other contestant on the show to prove that he was there for the right reasons, to prove that he's really in this for love, not for fame, right? And so when she heard that, I think that triggered her anxiousness was going on before she met this man. But I think once she learned that, it added to the pile. And I think nothing ever got taken off that pile, like just more and more anxiety got ramped up. But she was super critical of Nick from an anxious place. Like, because she was so anxious, she would just like lash out at him. And he took it on the chin every freaking time. I wanted him to be like, whoa.
Externally, at least. I'm sure.
And a couple of times he would say things like, that's a wild comment. But he was like so cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
And
to be fair, I was making fun of him too for what she was critical of him at the very beginning, was he couldn't work a Keurig coffee machine.
It was an espresso machine, which is a little harder, but still, he couldn't figure it out.
Or he made them a cocktail and he didn't like close the top of the shaker. And so he's like, well, at least I can do this right. And he shakes it and the top flies off and the drink goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just like, dude, you don't know to hold the top when you're shaking a
mixer, a shaker. Yeah. Yeah. So he was doing some things, but like she just never stopped nitpicking him. Like there was an example in the car when he was driving them off somewhere and he said, let's boogie. And she was like, ew, my grandma used to say, let's boogie. That gives me the ick. Like,
yeah. Which is just weird. It's a weird thing to be critical about someone's like if it was my grandma or grandpa that said something like that, I would be like, that's super endearing. Like I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe that.
My grandpa used to say
my
that.
grandma used to say that. That's so cool that you just said, let's boogie. So just weird.
Yeah. I think it goes back to she's so uncomfortable inside of herself and she's so paranoid and anxious about what he's thinking of her, what he's going to do if he's going to leave, that it's just easier for her to blame him, to get kind of like, it seems like she has the ick, right? But I feel like this is like a fake ick. Like she's making him the bad guy so she doesn't have to deal with herself. Like she's so uncomfortable and so anxious. And she's like, I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to make you the problem. And everything you do is wrong. And therefore, and also I think it's, something that anxiously attached people do unconsciously is they test their partner. If I'm afraid you're going to leave, I'm going to test you. And I'm going to test you. That's how I'm trying to gain trust that you won't leave, is like, if I push you to the limit and you still stay, then I'll trust you. But really what happens is you sabotage the relationship.
Yeah. That is definitely what it feels like she's been doing since day one, is just test. And she feels like he never opened up, which I can kind of see where she's coming from.
She has a valid
there.
Point
He's
on that.
pretty reserved guy. And in order for her to become intimate, which is a big problem, they're not intimate at all. I think they've made out once or twice.
Yeah. She told him she's a slow burn. And on the honeymoon, she was telling everybody. And that's another thing. She seems to have a good time with every single cast member. She thinks Adam's really hot. She's flirting with Adam.
Yeah, she said that out loud, with Nick standing right next to her, that Adam's the hot one of the group.
And the whole honeymoon, she's telling everybody how bored she is of Nick, how there's no sparks. And then she's telling Nick, I'm just a slow burn. It just takes me a long time to feel like I want to kiss my partner. I'm not really a physically affectionate person. Mm-hmm. So there's these two versions of her, the version with people she's not anxious about because she's not worried if they're going to leave her. And then the version she is with him, which is her shadow self, basically all her shit just coming out. And I really feel like she's accusing him of the thing that she's doing too. So she says he's not opening up, but she's not either. And she's making it him that's the problem when she's doing the exact same thing. And for him to open up as a shy, reserved person, she needs to help create a safe space. So she'll be like, I want you to be more silly in this relationship. Yeah. But then while she's telling him to be more silly, she's basically accusing him of being boring. It's like she doesn't say I wish we, can we go do this fun thing? This would be really fun to do together. She's like, you're not silly enough. I need you to be more silly. Well, okay, how am I going to be silly? When you're coming at me like that? Right. I don't really feel like I'm in the mood to be silly when you're attacking me.
Yeah, she doesn't it's not comfortable for him to be that way around her and he sees it, like you just said, she's like that with everyone else except for him.
Yeah. Yeah, and how would you feel if you saw your partner having the time of her life with everybody but you? That's got to be a heart, an arrow to your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've wanted to grab her and be like, Courtney, what the fuck, dude? We need to work together because this is not gonna work out for you. You're ruining a good thing.
Well, and yeah, that's another thing is she's tried to get validation for her not being into him from everyone else, saying from her family. She's like, if my family doesn't like him, then that's it. Then I don't see myself. When in the back of her head, that was her plan the whole time. And everyone, her friends, her family, the rest of the group on Married at First Sight,
They're all like, he's great.
Yeah, he's great. What's the problem?
I think
and I think even her parents said, like, this is you. Like, we've seen this before. This is a you problem.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is the most telling thing was when she's like, she took Nick home and she's telling her parents, grill him. She's telling her brother, grill, like, you know, put him on the spot. Like, find what's wrong with him. And they're like, nothing's wrong with him.
Yeah.
And her dad was like, this is what you do.
Yes.
And so this is not about Nick. This is about her. And she doesn't want to take responsibility, so she's just blaming him. And I do have issue with the experts because I feel like they've put fuel on her fire. Like in the one session, they had a group session where they were asking Nick to be vulnerable with Courtney. Well, actually, it started with Courtney. They were asking Courtney to be vulnerable with Nick because she's been pretty Ice Queen guarded, shutting him out. So it started with tell him something vulnerable. And she did. She actually did. She cried. She was telling him something that was meaningful to her. And then they reversed roles and they were like, okay, Nick, now you tell something. You open up and tell something vulnerable to Courtney. And he couldn't do it. But it wasn't because of her or that he didn't want to. It's because he was being put on the spot and he like his brain did that thing where he went blank. And she took that so personally. And she did not let go of it until they broke up. Like she used that as a weapon against him. Yeah. And I feel like the experts kind of took her side on it because they saw him shut down and because they want him to stop being so polished. And he, you know, perfectionism is kind of a issue of his. They're like, let your hair loose, Nick. And so I think they gave her ammo, but really, yeah. And it is a real problem. He does need to learn. He has stuff to work on. He does need to do that. But like, if we were going to give percentages, Courtney has 90% of the work to do in this relationship and Nick has 30%, right? Like, yeah. It was hard to watch because she was maddening. Also, I do want to point out something that we didn't talk about. We're going to wrap this up, but a thing that she said that was really critical that like really pissed you off. Remember
the car? Yes. Yeah, that drove me. I was mad about it like a week later. I said something about it. So they get picked up after one of the group dinners. And it's a Volkswagen Jetta that picks him up. And she's like, oh, I see you sprung for the Volkswagen. And he kind of joked it off like, oh, yeah, you know, I love a good Jetta or something. And God, that comment just gets under my skin so much. Maybe she was joking a little bit.
She did not sound like she was joking.
But man.
Because even if it was a joke, like, and I
like, it's an Uber. Like, what?
Yeah.
What did you expect, a limo to come pull up and take us out of here? Like, this is insane.
Exactly. And I question, again, I feel like she just needs to villainize him. I'm sure production ordered that car, not Nick.
Yeah.
And she like made it about him being a bad, what did she want? She wanted an Uber X or something?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But instead of saying to production, I see you sprung for the Jetta, she says it to Nick. Like,
yeah.
Now, I could be wrong about who paid for that Uber, but I would bet money. I would bet money production paid for that Uber.
Yeah. Either way, I don't care who paid for the Uber. That's just a comment.
That comment is out of line.
Yeah. It really makes me mad.
Yeah. It's so superficial. It's so like, oh, whatever. Anyway, yeah, she was acting like an entitled little princess. And it just wasn't cute. But yeah, I thought that was funny that like even later you were still like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was really under both of our skin, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that if she does some work on herself, she has a lot to offer a partner. She has a lot to give, but I think she's just not ready. So who else have we got?
We got Devin and Caitlin, which could be a good segue because it's kind of similar with the affection.
The affection piece, yeah.
She's another one that just, she doesn't like, what's the right
physical
word?
Touch.
Physical touch, yeah. So their love languages are a lot different, and he's not getting enough of the physical touch that he needs because he's big on that.
Yeah, he's a lover boy through and through. Like, he wants to express love for his woman in over-the-top romantic ways. He's highly affectionate. She is Miss Independent. She wants her space, right? I actually think they're both pretty securely attached, but they just express that in completely different ways. Like, he's the romantic lover, and she's like, I need my space, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want you all over me all the time. But also, she has been single this is one of those cases where like she's been single too long and she doesn't really comprehend what coupleship is. Like,
Yeah.
she'll just bounce in the morning without telling him goodbye.
Yeah.
And like, okay, you're married. You kiss your partner goodbye before you leave. You let them know where you're going. Like, these are basic things that if you've been single for a long time, maybe don't occur to you. But also when she gets called out for stuff like that, when he's like, hey, I want to, like, on their honeymoon, they plan to go to the gym together the next morning. Well, in her mind, she was thinking the gym is my alone time. That's the only time I really have some separate, because they're, you know, in this process, they are on top of each other 24/7, you know, and the thing that we often forget is they are strangers.
Yes.
They are strangers who are married and thrown into this, like,
be intimate
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, she's thinking, I want to go to the gym by myself so I can have some space, but she doesn't communicate that.
Right.
So he's like, just wake me up when you get up.
Mm-hmm.
And he was still sleeping when she went to the gym. So she used that as an excuse to be like, well, you were still asleep, even though he clearly requested that she wake him up. And it's just a lack of communication really on her part. Like, I think they can both get what they need, but it's not natural. It's not happening easily and naturally. And so when you're opposites and things don't come easily and naturally, you have to communicate more. You have to let the other person into your world, because the other person, if they're, you know, healthy, they can understand your perspective. There's no reality in which I see Devin being like, I don't want you going to the gym by yourself. If she was like, hey, I need just a little me time and the gym is my place to do that, he'd be like, cool.
Yeah.
But she didn't he was hurt because she just ditches him, you know? Like, so I think they're both right, but they're opposites. And I think they need to learn how to compromise and communicate. Yeah. And I think they have a really good chance if they can do that. But I don't know if they have time. At this point in the process, they have like 14 days till decision day.
Yeah, so I don't see it happening. And she also said since the honeymoon, in this most recent episode, that since the honeymoon, she's completely pulled back the intimacy, or I can't remember how exactly she worded it, but basically they haven't had sex. Yeah, they haven't had sex since the honeymoon. If they even did it then, I'm not sure, but
yeah. I don't know either whether they haven't been open if they've done it or not.
And a big thing that they keep talking about with him is that she's dimming his light, and he's kind of been taking a step back and letting her kind of doing things her way. Yeah. As opposed to a more of a compromise situation, which that's kind of a tough one for me. I don't really know how to think about it. It kind of bothers me because he has been good. Like, I feel like he's in a comfortable place, but then they're telling him, yeah, but you're not the same Devin that walked in, and you're a little more dialed back. And so part of me is like, yeah, well, that's a good thing. You should, you know, but that's just because that's the way I am. And another part of me is like, well, you should be yourself because I'm myself with you. And I was never going to compromise being myself for my partner, but you can be yourself and still
adjust to your partner. I think that's the nuance here, is that the experts are saying it to him in a way that might plant the seed that he's losing himself in this relationship. And I think what's actually happening is he's being flexible. He's adjusting. They're creating something together. It's not what he thought it was going to look like in his mind. Right. But he's also confessed that he's kind of over the top. Like, he's used the word love bombing. I like to love bomb, not in a narcissistic way, but like, he should have said, I love to shower my partner with affection, because love bombing has a really bad connotation these days. But, you know, he wants to like romance the fuck out of her. And she's like, I'm not really that girl yet. I think she could be that. I think there's a lover girl inside of her waiting to come out, but I think she needs to feel safe first. And we didn't get to see, but she told him some things off camera this week about why she's so guarded, about why she's so independent. She's been through some major trauma that she didn't want to share on camera. Right. And I think it gave him a different perspective. But I do wonder if the producers are producing this, you've been dimming your light. Like, I wonder if they're feeding that to the experts, or if that's coming from the experts. Like, I'm really like, I feel like the experts have made this relationship worse, but I do think these experts are solid. Like, I think that they're both really solid and have taught the couples really good things. So I just almost feel like the experts are being produced to create some drama.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it bothers me. That's the problem with reality TV. Yeah. Like, it just, and I know we have to have, the viewers need some moments, but like, don't overproduce these people. Don't ruin something that could be really good.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Devin and Caitlin.
A marriage.
Yeah, a marriage.
Which is even worse. Like,
I'm still rooting for them, but I'm really hoping they listen to themselves over the experts, over the producers, over their fears and like worries of incompatibility. I think they're actually really solid if they can put the earmuffs on and only like listen to each other.
Yeah.
So we'll see. More to be revealed with that.
Yeah, it's not looking hopeful for them, but
but I'm rooting for him because I've seen so many glimpses of like, oh, they are a good match.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm rooting for him too.
Yeah,
and I do like him. He does come across as a douchebag, like from just based on his looks, and so I did think he was a douchebag in the beginning, but he even said that.
Yeah, he said, I look like a douchebag.
I know I look like a douchebag. He's got this weird haircut.
Yeah, Joel can't handle the haircut. Like, he wants her dad to be like, so when are you going to get rid of that hair?
How long have you had this hair, and how long do you plan on keeping it?
Yeah, it is a weird mullet, bleached kind of mohawk mullet dude.
Yeah.
It's a weird dude.
I guess he says he likes it for his rugby, but...
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a rugby player.
Yeah.
But it's not the most attractive haircut we've seen.
He's actually really solid.
He's a solid dude.
I like him.
Yeah, I like him too. And that also leads us to our last couple we want to talk about today, which is probably the biggest shit show.
Speaking of the experts making a huge, like, this feels like the absolute produced decision with Felipe. Sorry, we're about to talk about Felipe and Tori. I jumped the gun a little bit, but like, what were they thinking even casting this guy?
I know, we've said it from day one. They should have never cast this guy. I don't know. And they put him with somebody so solid.
Yeah, I feel so bad for her. She's such a good...
She's a good human.
Got it all. Seems like she's got it all put together.
She's probably the most secure person on, the most mature, emotionally intelligent, sane, secure person in the whole cast. Yeah. But like, okay, so we got to tell people what Felipe announced at a group dinner, that he misses his single life because he liked fucking so many women. And everyone was shocked. Yeah. They were shooketh. Like, okay, that might be your truth, but you don't need to say that out loud to everyone and embarrass your wife like that. This guy, again, we've said it from the beginning, but like, his lifestyle was not marriage material when he got cast.
Right.
He was staying up till 4 a.m., living the fuckboy life.
He runs a restaurant, Italian restaurant, and so it's the restaurant culture. A lot of people do it. You go out after the shift's over and spend some of your tips at the bar and close the bar down and then go out afterwards. I lived that life for a little while, but yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to go from that to married, monogamous, like come home on time. It's hard to flip the switch. And in his mind, he was thinking he could do it. And so part of me was like, I don't think he can do it, but I would love to see him do it. Like, it would be a miracle, and it would be great if that could happen.
Right. It's this is going to get me out of that life.
That lifestyle.
This show is going to get me out of that life, and that's not.
And he didn't. What I see is like, he hasn't taken time to grieve the end of his singleness and prepare for marriage. So like this cold turkey, now he's going through fucking withdrawal of sleeping with everybody and their dog. And he's scared that he can't commit forever, that they can't keep the passion alive forever. And he's letting all of that overshadow how he actually feels about her. Is he thinks she's amazing. Yeah. He wants to be a good husband to her. Like, his desire and his base lust are at fucking war with each other. Like, his desire for commitment and marriage, and then this like, I just never want to grow up. I want to do what I want when I want. I don't want anybody to expect anything from me. He's at war with himself. And Tori has been amazing because she has not let any of this make it. She's like, women make things mean. Like, we'll tell stories. If he's behaving that way, it must mean I'm not good enough. If he's struggling, that must mean I did something wrong. She's like, dude, this is your problem. Yeah. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Not my problem, not my issue. I don't even want to talk to you about it. Like, sort yourself out.
And it's just like, what are you even doing here? And that's kind of what everyone has told him. Like, what are you even doing here if this is your thought process? If you're that concerned about not being able to sleep with multiple women. Like
what? You didn't have any business getting married. What the actual fuck, you know?
Yeah. You're in this for the wrong reasons. I think that he is in it for the wrong. I think he always has been.
I do too.
I think he wanted to promote his restaurant, or
maybe,
which they've already had a show there. I don't think they actually said the name. I don't know if they did. Maybe they did. I don't know, but I think that those were his...
Yeah, but people can find him on Instagram and figure out what his restaurant is. Like, it's still exposure.
Right.
So I don't know if he did it necessarily for that. He could have. I see that absolutely as being a possibility. I also think he could just be fucking delusional. He wants to be married, but like that, I want my cake and I also want to eat it. I want to keep my cake fully intact while I'm eating it. Well, that's not freaking possible. Like, you can't have it both ways. You have to choose. And I think he's just like, honestly, I think if Tori would go for it, he would be the guy that's like, what do you think about an open marriage?
Oh, yeah.
If he thought there was any possibility, that's what he would do.
Yeah.
But really, it's just he needs to figure out what he actually wants and commit to it, period.
Right.
Like,
and so they had an expert session after that whole thing. And what did they tell him? They told him it's something that's really bothering me about like living.
Yeah, they really recommended to stay.
How do you feel
today.
right now? Yeah, don't worry about the future. Worry about right now. Worry about how you're feeling. Like, do you love, or do you want this marriage to work
today?
Right.
I do think this is one day at a time is something that's taught in 12-step programs, because a lot of people who think about, like, when people are getting sober, if they were to think about, I have to be sober forever, that's too daunting. But I can stay sober today is manageable. And so this is a concept that if somebody is really struggling to wrap their idea around this is forever, then a bridge to get there is we take it one day at a time. And eventually that fear of it being forever goes away because you've done the one day at a time thing. But I think it's bothering you because marriage is forever.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think you have to understand that it's not like he's not going to stay in that one day at a time mentality forever, but he might need that temporarily to get over himself.
Yeah. So now they've had another group session since then, and he's saying, well, I'm committed. I'm fully committed to you today. And so then other people have called him out like, oh, what about tomorrow? What about next week? What about next month? Are you still gonna? Yeah. And that's exactly how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm committed today. That is a slap in the face if you're her. Like, I would have left him as soon as he said, I want to sleep with I think I still might want to sleep with multiple women. Bye.
There's a great chance she's saying no on decision day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think she's just like,
she's over it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she hasn't left yet. You can see it on her, even when he's like apologized and been saying the things that he's been saying to try to make up for that. She's not buying it. You can see it in her eyes.
Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to hear I'm in it for today. So like, in the best world, that would have been a private session with him where they're giving him that strategy so that he can deal with bite-sized manageable commitments to get to the place where he can be full in on the commitment. But to her, he should be presenting the vision, right? Like, because you can do both at the same time. You can hold the big vision and take things one day at a time, which I think is actually one of the most valuable skills in dating.
I agree.
Is you hold the future and you stay in today.
Right.
And that's what he should be doing, but he should be helping her to see, I want the future you want.
Yes.
And he's not doing that right now because I don't think anybody really explained to him that this is a strategy and a bridge to get you to a different place. I think they just said, just look at it like this.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, if I only have to commit today every day, I guess I could do that.
Yeah. A 30-minute therapy session, which is
right.
Yeah, which is what the other people on the show have called out. Like, oh, so after a 30-minute session, you're just
now you guys are all healed.
Yeah, now you're all healed. Now you've got it all figured out.
Yeah, and
so I think you're right on that point to where they didn't get to fully. They should have. I mean, care what?
Yeah, but I also
give him the full explanation. Maybe they did, and he just didn't understand it. But.
Yeah. I do question these group dinners and all of this criticism coming from the other couples.
Yeah.
Because much like what we talked about with Courtney, of like, I don't want to look at my own shit. It's easier to poke at yours. That's what's happening in these group dinners where it's basically a format to air out the dirty laundry, to put other people on the spot, to take the focus off of you, and to tell other people what they're doing wrong. And I don't actually think that's constructive to the process at all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a fan of these dinners because, I mean, they're doing what we're doing right now. You know, we're talking freely about what we think about these couples but we're not in their ear while they're going through the process. We probably won't ever be in their ear. Hey, if you guys ever listen to our podcast, let us know, but probably not anytime soon. And so like, but these group dinners I'm planting negative seeds in something you're trying to grow. Like I'm putting a bunch of weeds in your garden while it's already hard enough for you to get the garden off the ground. I think it's a little fucked up, these group dinners. I wish they didn't do them. Or I wish there was a facilitator where it was like, let's be positive. I mean, these are just negative. They're just coming for each other with very pointed questions.
Yeah, because what they're not showing is probably their conversations at home with each other, like talking about the other couples, and then they've got their ammo for the. But I like them. I'm gonna
drama.
I'm gonna disagree with you there. I actually do like them. I think that.
Do you think they're constructive?
No, probably not.
Okay, I like them for the drama too, but I don't think they're helpful.
Yeah, maybe so.
So I think we actually agree, but yeah. I like watching it on TV. Do I like it as part of a process that should help people get bonded and build something strong? No, I think it's fucking destructive.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But I do like the drama.
Yeah.
I can hold both, right?
Yes.
We're layered, nuanced people.
That's right.
Yeah. So
anything else about those two? I think that pretty much covers it. He's a fuckboy.
No, yeah, he's got Peter Pan
she's
syndrome.
Got it all put together. And
she is just handling it like a champ. I will say, if you're not securely attached and you want to know what it looks like, just watch all of the Tori scenes, because that's what it looks like. Like, she is immovable. She knows who she is.
Yeah.
She knows what she wants. She believes she deserves it. And she's not going to let anybody change her point of view of herself. And she knows she's going to be okay no matter what. That is secure attachment. That is the goal for all of us. That is what creates healthy relationships. And so if there was a picture of, if we opened the dictionary again and looked up secure attachment, Tori's photo would be there.
Nice.
And so I just want to give her flowers and also say, if you don't know what it looks like, because some people don't, watch that storyline, because she is not getting her boat rocked by this insane. See, we can call men insane. By the double standard.
I see how it is.
Double standard by this Peter Pan motherfucker. How about that?
I think that's a little unfair to Peter Pan.
True. That is a little unfair to Peter Pan. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's it, right? Any last thoughts?
Just that we've got, 5 or 6 episodes left, I think. 2 more weeks of shows.
2 more weeks of shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drop 3 at a time.
So by the end, we'll
tell you how right or wrong our predictions were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in and hearing all the hot goss, plus the assessment according to us of what's really happening under the surface of all that drama. And we'll see you back here next week.
All righty. Bye.